Hello, Facebook family. How are you all doing this evening, this 4th of July Eve? I hope you all are preparing, getting everything ready on the grill, getting things ready so you can spend time with your family. Look, I'm a little hot. I'm outside. And so just wanted to come on and just talk about disciplining your emotions. I have the this discipline and preparedness intensive that's coming up on Monday, July 8th. We have some amazing women who have already signed up for the intensive. And so I'm excited and just wanted to come on and share with you all about the discipline and preparedness intensive. Hey, Monica, how are you? It's been a minute. I haven't talked with you in a while, haven't seen you in a while, but how are you? Thank you for tuning in. Just wanted to talk about disciplining our emotions, because oftentimes when we think about being self-disciplined, I don't know about you, but sometimes you're moving on a project or you're moving in purpose, and then all of a sudden you experience emotional breakdown, or something doesn't go as planned, or there's something that's going on in a relationship, whether it be opposite sex relationship where you have a boyfriend, girlfriend, or husband and wife. It could even be a relationship at work. And so emotionally, you are challenged because you feel like you can no longer focus on what's in front of you. And so I am coming on just to share with you a little bit about discipline in our emotions and having that emotional intelligence, because your emotions will cause you to miss out on developing and producing in purpose. If your emotions are not in check, you will find yourself on a road to parking in your discipline, because you will have emotional instability. And when you are emotional, it is impossible for you to be consistent because you are driven by your emotions. And so when we talk about the 10-day discipline to produce and the power of your self-discipline, it is really talking about finding in that emotional space as well. And especially as women, sometimes we have a difficult time managing our emotions, and therefore we don't see our emotions show up in our outcomes. Our emotions show up in our quitting, because we have learned how to quit, but we haven't learned how to stay. We've learned how to give up, but we haven't learned how to have that resilience and that staying power as it relates to discipline. And so I just wanted to come on and talk about how our emotions can sometimes cause us to have that start and stop. When we don't feel like doing something. It's not about your feelings. Your discipline is not about how you feel. Your discipline is a system. Your feelings are emotion that comes based on external or internal things. So if it's something external that happens, then your emotions go up and down. If it's something that internally you're not feeling it today, then your emotions go up and down. But your discipline is a system, and whether you feel like it or not, you now have trained your system to produce based on what it is that you see in your future. Your vision now drives your discipline. Your vision teaches you exactly what system to put in place to get the outcome that you see in your dreams. And so I wanted to come on and just share with you all today, you have to learn that you must have discipline in your emotions. And so for those of us who are working, I'm sweating a little bit, y'all, it's hot out here. But for those of us who are working toward a goal or a vision, or you have some personal, professional goals in place, whether it is going to school, completing your degree, getting an advanced degree, whether it is writing a book, whether it's buying a home, whether it's losing weight, no matter what that thing is that you need to be disciplined in, if your emotions are controlling you, then you will lack the system of self-discipline. So we're going to talk about how do you gain emotional intelligence. And for those of you who have joined, Vanessa, Paula, Angela, hey Angela, Bert, Carson, Kamisha, Lakitha, DeKeldrick, Latoya, thank y'all so much for tuning in, because our emotions, when we think about it, I want you all to type in, as it relates to your emotions, when have your emotions actually caused you to kind of stop, or cause you? I hear so many clients I work with, or people that hello, how are you? I'm good. That's when you're doing a live outside on the porch. So, but when you think about your emotions, how many times have your emotions caused you to actually stop being productive? How many times have your emotions caused you to put the book down that you were writing? How many times have your emotions caused you to stop in the middle of something that you were doing that was, you were on the road, you quit school, or you said, I'm gonna sit out, I'm not feeling it? How many times have your emotions robbed you of your destiny? And so it is important for us to practice a healthy sense of emotional stability. You have to learn to tell your emotions that your commitment to your destiny and the commitment to what you are trying to accomplish is greater than your emotions. Listen, it's times where other people are depending on me to produce from the level I see. Other people are depending on me to produce from the vision that God has given me. Other people are depending on me to produce in the corporate space. They're depending on me to produce so that they can live out, whether it's their vision, whether it is their product, whether it is their business. And so I cannot be driven by my emotions. And the reason people are successful is because they know how to establish emotional control, emotional intelligence, when to pop off and when not to pop off, how to build the relationships effectively. Your emotions drive your ability to build effective relationships, which then impacts your ability to be disciplined. I'm telling you, it goes deep. And so I want you all, for those of you who are on, I want you to type in, when have emotions caused you to kind of stop? When have you been not feeling well? And I'm not talking about where you have, you're ill in your physical body or you're having some type of illness. I'm talking about when you are literally like, I just don't feel like it today. I can't bring myself to write. I can't bring myself to go research. I can't bring myself to go to this event. When you know strategically, it's a part of your plan to produce what you see in your dreams. And so you cannot allow, hey, Virginia, how are you? And don't allow your emotions to rob you of your destiny. Many of us are operating from an emotion when we have a goal or a vision that we need to accomplish. Then you're allowing it to be your emotions to begin to just rob you of that. And you have to be, people say, well, how are you so disciplined? It's not that I'm the baseline or the measurement, but I know that in order to produce, there has to be consistency. And I know that in order to deliver every time, on time, that I have to have a system in place where I tell my emotions, you know what, I may not feel like it today, but let me put some things in place so that I can produce. Whether it is so one of my strategies is when I don't feel like it. So for example, those of you who want to lose weight and you're having a difficult time going to the gym, well, you need to join me in that discipline and preparedness, because you need to learn how to see yourself in the future. And when you are emotional, you have to be able to say, okay, emotions, I need you to get in submission to what my will is to do. And your will is to produce what you see in your dreams. And you need to be able to say, I'm going to go walk for 10 minutes. See, what we'll do, we'll give into emotions because it's easier to give up than it is to continue. So your emotions oftentimes will give you permission to do what they want you to do. But you need to give your emotions permission to take a back seat. And so always say, honor the emotion. If you're tired, take a nap and get up. But you have to produce. So hopefully, so DeKeldrick says, every time I've let my emotions take over, I lose my money. You talking my language now, DeKeldrick, that's right. Every time you let your emotions take over, you lose your money, time, and concentration. And when we begin to emotional, it'll affect our money because it'll affect our ability to produce. It'll affect our ability to get contracts. It'll affect our ability to actually produce from, if it's an outcome that we need. If you're a designer, if you are any service provider and you're emotional, it affects you. I've worked with individuals who own t-shirt businesses. I've worked with individuals who have been web designers, photographers, and this cross boundaries of all fields and all industries, but I'm just saying from those who actually have to show up physically and produce an outcome with a service right then. When you are emotional, it gets in the way of your money. And you're absolutely right, DeKeldrick. You have to be able to discern and also be able to decipher what is business and what is an emotional trigger. When you understand those triggers, you understand how to better deal with them. It is so critical that you understand that your discipline has to do with your emotions as well. And so, Zenobia, how are you? Yes, Virginia says, this week I had to tell my emotions to chill out, working in a new environment and trying to find my way. That is important when you're working in new environments. Also, when you have, when you're in a new environment and you are learning, sometimes your emotions can take over. And when you're learning, you start to get frustrated. You no longer can produce from a place of gaining knowledge so that you can access your future. I'm telling y'all, it's deep. Yes, Zenobia, I was just looking up how to control my emotions. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Listen, controlling your emotions is really understanding them first. And so Zenobia, and for those of us who are listening, it's really understanding the triggers. What are the roots cause of what triggers that emotion? And so I always tell people, honor the emotion. When you figure out what's causing the emotion, then you know not to enter into that place, not to take phone calls from certain people, even if it's someone who triggers an emotion where it's going to distract you, because all emotions aren't bad. Some emotions are good. They make you feel real good, and then you'll get off track. And when you get off track, you can't get back on track to actually produce in that place of purpose. So you have to know, what are your triggers? What are those things, ladies and gentlemen, what are those things that really get you off track emotionally, and finding those triggers? So Zenobia, first thing is understanding what drives that emotion. That's number one. And is it something historical? Is it an experience? Is it a practice that you have? Is it an outcome that you always get? Is it something you're looking at? Sometimes it's a physical thing. Sometimes it's an emotional, deep-seated wound. Sometimes it's also things that you hear. Music drives an emotion. There are certain things that I cannot do when I'm about to produce. When I'm about to do content, it's certain things that I cannot do. And so you have to be able to understand the root of the emotion. What causes that emotion? A lot of people talk about social media. Well, if social media is driving an emotion, you need to find out what the root is, because it's not social media. All right. So I want to be clear about that. It's not social media. Social media is a mechanism. It's a tool. It's a resource. So it's not pulling the emotion. So you have to find out what is deeper in that emotion. When you talk about discipline them, so for example, I hear a lot of people say, well, I'm going to take a sabbatical from social media. I'm going to, take a break. It's not social media, the tool. It's more so something that you're seeing and connecting to something within you. So it's either connecting to an inadequacy, a place that you have a gap in and you want to close it, but you hadn't yet gotten there. So now you feel inadequate even more so. Or you're having a spirit of comparison and competition, and you see others, maybe you want to be married and you're single, and you see others living this quote unquote happy life. And so now it triggers this emotion, and you now can't focus on what it is that you're supposed to be doing. Or maybe, you're just looking at social media and it seems like everybody's life is going well except yours. See, you have to understand what is the root. The root is not social media. Is it loneliness? Is it a desire? Is it pride? Is it something that you're seeking that you're seeing? So that's what I'm sharing about being able to, your emotions will affect your discipline, and you have to discipline them. By getting off social media is not disciplining your emotion. All you're doing is putting a Band-Aid over the emotion. What you have to do is find out the root cause. Once you find out the root cause, then you know how to manage that. You know how to manage, and you're disciplining yourself by saying, I'm not going to go to those pages at that hour. I'm not going to do those things at that time. And so you have to be able to know what is driving the emotion and how can you discipline your emotions in a way that it causes you to be more effective and more productive. All right. So, and yes, Virginia, out of control emotions will cost you greatly. Hey, Renee. Hey, Therese. Hey, Rhonda. Hey, ladies. I see you all popping up over here. Carmen, how are you? If I missed somebody, I'm not trying to. Talisha, let me scroll back down. Miss Boyd Jones. So yes. So again, Sarah, oh my gosh, Sarah's ready and rocking and rolling. She's in a discipline and preparedness intensive as well. I'm just sharing with you all, discipline your emotions. Sometimes when you allow your emotions to take control, you are unable and you are not capable of producing at a high level. And let me share with you, people say, well, you can sit down and produce product and content. How are you so consistent? I don't always feel like it. Let's be very clear. I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I have a business, I have ministry, and I have friends and family. And I don't always feel like getting up early in the morning. I don't always feel like working on something. And I don't always feel like doing that. And so what I do is I have to actually establish and say, this is what I don't feel like it today. So what is it that I can do a quick win that may pull me out of that emotion? So I always go with the quick wins first. So I encourage you to go with the quick wins. I encourage you to understand the root cause of the issue. And I encourage you to not mask it, but manage it. That's big. Don't mask it, but learn to manage it. All right. What does that look like, y'all? Y'all know I love y'all because I'm out here in this heat or whatever. But just learn to really manage it and not mask it. All right. So I hope you all will join me on Monday, the Discipline and Preparedness Intensive. Zenobia, Sarah, you're already in the class. Virginia, Rhonda, all of you who are here. Miss Boyd Jones, again, Renee, who else? Talisha, Carmen, Shay. Hey, girl, y'all need to go ahead, go to corporatejewelpwc.com. We have right now several women who've signed up for the Discipline and Preparedness Intensive, and we are getting ready to rock and roll. So go ahead, sign up and join us as you are getting ready to produce. Some of you, we talk about third quarter, fourth quarter. Everybody's like, you got about a couple of months left in the year. I want to help you get through the rest of this year by producing, not just producing for your goals, but actually setting up a system that's going to be sustainable over time. Not just let me write this book, but how do I put in a system that helps me to be more productive? And how do I then now manage my emotions, which I can manage effectively what I produce? Then I can manage my money even better. So I would love for you to join me there. Go to corporatejewelpwc.com, share this live, because when I tell you, we don't like to acknowledge that we need help, and help doesn't mean you're weak. Help actually means you're strong, because it shows that you have the ability to say, I have a gap in this area, or, ooh, I can up level in this particular area. And I'm going to surround myself with individuals who are wanting and needing that same thing and taking on that so that I can grow and develop. So I would love to see you in the course room. And don't forget that discipline your emotions will help you produce better. If you don't believe me, try it. If you don't believe that discipline your emotions, when you have discipline, when you can manage your emotions, you can listen. When you can manage your emotions, you can have a clear mind. You focus more on the purpose of why you're doing things, and not just like a fleeting passion or issue that you're going through. You focus more on the purpose. And so I want to help you manage that. And I also want you to know, discipline your emotions. It actually helps you produce from a better place. And it also helps you manage your outcomes better. So hopefully you will join us again, July 8th, corporatejewelpwc.com. I hope this helped you. If you have any questions, she said, how do you get a part of that? Oh, Zenobia, great. Go to corporatejewelpwc.com. Let me type it in the notes here. And I hope you all can join me there. Okay, yeah, go to Corporate Jewel. Look at me, putting corporate PWC, trying to do it too fast. Got it. Alrighty, so yeah, if you join, but we have to learn to discipline our emotions. I'm signing off. If you're just joining us, that's okay. Is watch the replay, but you're gonna have to learn to discipline your emotions if you're gonna produce what you see in your dreams. Your emotions will rob you of your destiny. Your emotions will rob you of your money. Your emotions will rob you of relationships. Your emotions will rob you of contracts. You'll start having emotions and getting personal about things, and it's not even something you can take personally, because they don't even know you as a person. So you have to learn to have discipline in your emotions. There are times when I'm running programs, and I'm running programs, consults, contracts with all different types of personalities, with all different types of individuals, backgrounds, and you have to learn to manage your emotions in a way that you bring discipline to them. And you're not going to be offended. You're not walking in a fence. When you're walking in a fence, you are always on guard. You think people are trying to get you. You think they're trying to attack you. And that's not always the case. Or if you're always ready to defend, you need to learn to discipline your emotions. And that's something that we can practice by having an open mind and just being able to have a healthy disposition where our emotions are being managed and we know the purpose. You can manage your emotions better when you know the purpose and the reasoning and the why of what you're doing, and not allowing the emotions to control you, but you control your emotions, and that'll help you control the outcome. I hope to see you in the course room, corporatejewelpwc.com. I'm Dr. Kimberly Ellison. Just wanted to jump on. I got excited after winning on Wednesday, so I said, let me come on and do a live. Hey, Janet. Hey, Shara, Kiana, Nisha, Latasha. Hey, Devian. What you doing on here? And so, anyway, I hope to see you in the course room. I'm signing off now, but thank you so much for joining in, and don't forget to share this video. And y'all, these mosquitoes fighting me. They tearing me up.